going to expand upon something in my shorts, and that is about people. Frankly speaking, people will vex you, they will upset you, and then sometimes you may have moments where you think you hate them, right? They're not doing what you ask, they're conflicting with you, right? Sometimes they're aggressively fighting against you. And so, naturally, I think our daily lives will make us think that people aren't necessarily the right key to our success. It's maybe the right job, sometimes people, right partner, a better group of friends, or even perhaps a new car, something material is what's my goal. And that's not the case. It's like, it's difficult being on a diet, but it's good for you, right? But you have to find the right food and the right diet and the right lifestyle that suits you, suits your body. Same thing with people. You have to find the right people to be around. And we all know this, but how do you do it? Let's explain very much, especially when you sometimes are being, you know, told by your unconscious mind that people suck, right? So, about investing in people. The first and foremost, what you need to do is to think sort of philosophically, right? Feel philosophically, and that is that societies grow, communities grow because the community works together. A community that doesn't work together doesn't grow, doesn't develop. Same thing with people. A person who's just alone to themselves, right, rarely grows in a way that's going to place them in a position that they're looking for, the role they're looking for, the lifestyle that they're looking for. It's difficult to do it alone. That's the philosophy. Okay. The next thing you need to think of philosophically is that people build you up, right? A community of people help one another. That's just philosophically. Have that in your head as the philosophy as you go forward, and then you'll be fine. So let's say, okay, you have that philosophy in your head. You're like, okay, Henry, I get it. I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's talk practical things. I talk a lot about listening to people, finding out what's going on. A lot of times all of us can think of the person who in our neighborhood or community who makes people laugh, who goes around and makes people laugh. That person has a talent and a skill, and they go around doing it. Now that's an effective skill. That's a way of going out and giving people what they need. But the reality is not everyone needs a joke. But the principle's true is that if you can find the right people, right, who need that, then you're going to be considered someone in their community that they need and that they'll support and that they'll promote as the comedian. But let's say you're not a comedian. Let's say you're a thinker, you're an analyst, you're an idea person, you're bossy, you're whatever you happen to be. How do you figure out where you fit in that community? And then we'll get into how the community helps you. Let's talk about how you get into that community. Now, the listening part. Um, how do I say this? Let me talk about abusive relationships for a minute, I think, because I think there's an underlying current here. If you're helping people and listening and just serving and serving, maybe I'll get used and abused. You see people post this, I'm getting used and abused. So let me talk about that first. When you're going out listening to people, the point is you're not necessarily giving. Think about it as an education. You're learning about the people around you. Worst, you're learning who you want to be around and who you don't. Who has what, who doesn't have what. I've met a lot of people who are either my boss or my colleagues or my coworkers or my staff or just friends that are not friends, associates, let's say I've met, and I said, you know what? I don't want to be around that person. But I didn't know unless I speak to them and really listen to what they talk about and listen to how they talk to others. Think of it as education. Don't think of it as, okay, I'm going to get something out of this. So, no, it's like going to school. You're studying the environment around you. So you're studying those people. Now, about the actual giving of oneself, about the listening part of it. When you're listening to someone, now talk about abusive relationships again. Let's say you have a partner, male, female, whatever, and you're giving to them time, money, anything they ask for, and you're not getting anything out of it. Don't know why that's not working, so to speak, but I will surmise and guess that it's not about giving them what they ask for. It's not about just giving and giving and giving. It's about understanding where that person's true pain points are. So, for instance, let's say you have an abusive relationship in the sense that you have a friend or a colleague who just needs to drink all the time, right? They need to drink. They need money to go drinking or drugs, whatever it is. They need that money. And you're like, well, let me help them. Maybe they'll figure it out one day. Let me support them. And then you decide, well, maybe you get too much of it. So you stop giving them money. And that doesn't help either, right? So the reality isn't about giving them and then out of frustration not giving Just like if you have an abusive relationship, you have a husband, right? I'll use the example of husband who abuses you or just uses your money or just uses your time or just uses you, and then you're like, hey, what am I getting out of this? You're a partner or something like that. And you decide not to, you decide to run off. Nothing wrong with running off. Abusive relationships, get out of them. But it's not about giving if someone did not giving. It's about understanding what their pain points are. Now, pain points means what's getting in the way of their success. That's what pain points mean. Sorry. It means what's getting in the way of their success. Could be the way they think, could be the way they feel, could be the way they see the world, could be the way they treat people. Figure out what that is, right? That's what you're trying to do when you're listening to people. Not necessarily, okay, they need money, I'll give that to them. Maybe that'll help. No. If you can, there are unconscious drives in people they're not even aware of, that you're not aware of in yourself. But if you listen to people, people listen to you, they know it. They hear it in your conversation, in your voice. They hear it in the things you say and things you do. Same thing with others. Just listen to them. That's the giving part of yourself. Then you think about it. Can you give to that need? Like if your friend needs to get off alcohol and drugs, right? Can you perhaps give them advice or direct them to a counselor or find someone who can help them? Or maybe you just try to find the person who does fit your friend as far as communication and coaching, or you get your husband around more or your partner around more positive male role models or things of that nature that that can get them around men who are positive or women who are positive, can change their life, can change them. Perhaps even helping that person figure out what is it they're trying to do in life, their goals, right? Try to pick that out of them and figure out what that is. Because sometimes people drink and booze and drug and abuse because they feel trapped or they're frustrated. So trying to figure out those pain points, that's what you're trying to do, right? You're not trying to just do what people say because you think they like you and you get something out of it. Again, it's not about you. It's about understanding these people, understanding their pain points, understand what you can get to them, and then voila, it works. So that's this. Now, about yourself, and that's what we'll talk about later in a longer video, but I'll have some shorts out about it perhaps, is who are you? What is it you can give to that situation? Is it talking? Is it listening? Is it money? Is it whatever? It's not going to be money. Money is just a thing, but who are you as a person can provide, right? Are you the connector? Are you the analyst, etc.? It's very similar to, and I'll leave with this. When you're trying to provide something to somebody, it's like a job interview. And all of us are looking for work or have a job or may be looking for work in the future or want to keep our job. So let's look at it this way. When you're in an interview and someone asks you, why should we hire you? Right? The more you know about the company, the more you know about the pain point of the person in the room with you, the better you can give an answer that says, hey, you know what? I think X. For this problem, I think I can solve X. This is who I am. This is what I can do. It's really preparing you for the interview, which is life. So you understand the people around you, understand who you are and what you can contribute to that situation. And you'll find yourself on your road to actually being happy and being able to reap the rewards of your investment in other people. Have a great day.